and protect your photos before positioning them. An acid-free laminate will keep your photos free of dust and fingerprints. Simply insert the laminated photo into photo corners or brads to mount it on the page. Write in journal entries with decorative pens using either colorful construction paper or write your captions directly onto the page. Lastly, to enhance your page, add variety and dimension with die cuts and stickers that are in keeping with your theme. Creating vacation-themed scrapbook pages will allow the whole family to relive those special vacation memories for years to come. Log on to DIYNet.com for complete instructions. You'll also find how you can buy everything you need to complete this project, along with many other creative DIY kits. Today's kit is brought to you by Duck Brand.
Hey, you ready to go to my mom's?
You know what, honey? I gotta paint all this. It's pretty much an all-day job.
Oh, okay. I'll be back later.
Okay.
Mwah.
Say goodbye to all-day jobs with Duck Brand quick corners and perfect release painting tapes. Just tape on, paint, and pull. Duck Brand painting tapes. Get the duck to do it. Whack.
Hello?
What you doing?
Painting?
Today on Weekend Handyman, do you have a fireplace that works great but looks pretty dull? Want to transform a plain fireplace into a stunning stone fireplace? We'll show you how to do the job in one weekend by using precast stone. It looks just like the real thing. We'll also show you how to build a handsome hearth and a rugged stone mantel. That and a great tool tip that can save you tons of time. It's all straight ahead on Weekend Handyman. Hi, welcome to Weekend Handyman. I'm Paul Ryan. You know, gas fireplaces are great, but as a centerpiece for a room, this one's just not doing that much for us. I mean, it's a big box with a black hole in it. But we're going to change all that. Now, imagine what it would look like covered with beautiful stonework, a great-looking hearth, and a rugged stone mantel. That's our weekend project, and we can do it all in just 2 days. Now, the reason we can make such a dramatic transformation in just a short time is right out here in the backyard. Now, this is the look we're looking for. This is a flat rock called ledge stone. Now, if you've ever worked with stone, you know that it is tough, back-breaking work. But now check this out. Looks like the same thing, doesn't it? But it's not. This is a veneer. It's got a flat surface on it, makes it easy to apply to just about anything. These are precast or manufactured stones, and it is going to make our lives a lot easier.
Manufactured stone is made from Portland cement, lightweight aggregates, and iron oxide pigments, and there's a tremendous variety to choose from. Anything from random stones like the river rocks, or the stream stones all the way to the stacking stones like the limestone or the southern ledge stones.
All right, let's talk about the preparation we'll need for this project. Now, the first thing I need to do is make some very careful measurements of the entire area that I'll be covering so I know how much material to order. Let's talk about the time it takes to order stone. Now, most manufacturers will have the most popular models in stock, like this ledge stone we'll be using or this river rock. But if you have to order some more exotic styles like this castle stone, you'll probably have to add a couple weeks to your order for some lead time. And you're also going to need a couple days to put the special materials and tools together for this job. Well, along with your stones, we're also going to need a moisture-resistant barrier. You can use this roofing felt or tar paper. You can also use Tyvek. We're also going to be using this metal lath. Now, this will strengthen the structure and allow the mortar to adhere to it. And of course, we also need our mortar. Now, we've got some Type N pre-mixed mortar, and we've also got this pre-tinted. That's going to make it match the rocks. And these are the special tools we need: a mason's trowel, a finishing trowel, a 1/2-inch tuck pointer, a grout bag, and to cut the stones, we'll use a circular saw equipped with a diamond masonry blade. Well, the first thing I need to do to prep the surface is remove the existing oak trim. Now, on a difficulty scale of 1 to 5 for our intermediate DIYer, this one comes in at about a 3. The reason for that, it gets a little bit tricky when you're installing the stones to make them look straight. Once the trim is off, I put on the waterproof barrier. It'll prevent moisture from the mortar from seeping into the wall and prevent the wallboard from rotting. You can use a hammer tacker or a stapler. Then comes the expanded metal lath, which we attach to the studs in the wall. The lath gives the mortar something to stick to and will help hold the stones to the wall. Here's a very important tip. It's critical that you wrap your metal lath all the way around the structure in one continuous run. If you don't do that, what could happen over time if you butt two ends together, you could get a crack going all the way down with all the shifting that happens over time. We've got the lath on. I've taped the border and covered the fireplace front with plastic. And we're ready to mix our mortar. Now, if you want to save money, you can mix your own mortar from scratch, but for a job this size, we're going to use this Type N premix. Type N is recommended for above-grade masonry. All you need to do is add water and mix it to the right consistency.
When you're mixing your mortar, it's very important to have uniform consistency. You don't want the mortar to be too wet or too dry. If it's too wet, it's going to be sloppy, it's going to leave a mess on your stones, and if it's too dry, it won't adhere properly to the wall.
Well, now it's time to apply our mortar. You can see I've got a little work area set up here. I've got a couple of sawhorses, some boards. Our mortar's all set to go. Now, we have to put a coat on the entire surface that we prep. How we're going to do that is take our trowel, and what we want to do is just take a thin coat, and we want to apply it so it just covers the metal mesh. Don't be too skimpy with the mortar. Do the large flat areas first, then work the excess in from the corners to the middle to make sure you've got a good coat on the entire surface. It's going to be a messy job, so make sure you've got your floor well covered. Well, now that we've got our entire scratch coat on, we'll let it set up overnight, and then tomorrow we'll start the fun part, putting up the stones. I'll show you how it's done when Weekend Handyman continues. Stay with us.
Brought to you by Geldwin Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life.
We're Geldwin, and for more than 40 years, we've been making reliable windows and doors. Remodeling complete. More quality time. Still learning. Still no ball mark. Waterworks outside. Homework inside. Comfort, security, dependability. Geldwin Windows and Doors. Reliability for real life.
Two teams going head-to-head. A fully stocked tool warehouse. One project. And only 8 hours to do it. Warehouse Warriors.
1, 2, 3, back again!
Hold on to your drawers. We're locking the doors.
Maybe they won't notice it.
You'll never make it.
We've got you beat.
Warehouse Warriors. Tonight at 9 Eastern and Pacific.
I am so glad this is over.
Welcome back to Weekend Handyman. I'm Paul Ryan. Well, we're using precast or manufactured stones to change our fireplace into a stone masterpiece. And these precast stones are going to make our life a lot easier. We've been at it for one day, and now we're going to start day number 2. We've prepped the surface with a weatherproof barrier, put up metal lath to hold the mortar and strengthen the wall, applied a scratch coat of mortar and let it set up overnight, and we set a few bricks on top of the mantle to act as a spacer for the mantle stones, which we'll install later. One of the tricks about working with stone is remembering that it's like putting together a puzzle. So it's a good idea to lay all your stones out on the floor before you put them up on the wall so you can see what you've got to choose from.
To get a natural appearance of the stone during installation, you want to use a good variety of the material. You want to have dark pieces next to light, big next to small, and rough next to smooth.
Well, now the fun part, putting up our stones. As you can see, I've got a bunch of stones laid out here, and now I get to figure out where they go. I'm going to start out with these corner pieces, and to do that, the first thing we need to do is put some mortar on the stone. We need to make sure that the entire surface is covered, and that's just the first step. After they're covered, we have to do something else to make sure that they adhere to our mortar that's already up on the wall. Once you get the mortar on there, I'll take another section of mortar, and I'm just going to make kind of a cup. And what this cup's going to do, it's going to give us a little suction cup as we put it up there. Make sure that it adheres. It's a little tricky to do this, but once you get it done, you get nice adhesion. After the stone goes on, I use a level to be sure it's straight. Next, I measure the space between the corner pieces and look for a stone that will snugly fit in the gap. I check to be sure it'll fit, butter it with mud. Special metal spacers create a gap so I can pull the bricks out later. And then in it goes. To speed things along, I've enlisted a little help. You'll find that an extra pair of hands can really make this job go a lot faster, especially on this part of the process. Well, our corner pieces come in staggered lengths. We've got short, long, and we're alternating that way. That's because we want a nice natural look to this wall. If we were to go to all short or all long, we might have a zippered effect. Selection is the key. Now, if you put a stone up and you don't like it, don't worry about it. You can just take it right off. Just make sure that you clean the mortar off of it. Well, we are about halfway through day 2 in our project, and I think you can get a pretty good idea about how nice this fireplace is going to look. It's not that complicated of a project, but there are a couple of tips I want to go over with you. First of all, I've got this piece that I would really like to have on the front here. It accents these other pieces well, but on a job this size, you're going to have to make a lot of cuts, and that's exactly what I have to do with this piece. So, I'll show you how to make that cut. Well, there's a couple things to keep in mind when you cut your stones. First of all, make sure that your stone is clamped down tight so it doesn't move. And we're going to be using a circular saw with a diamond masonry blade. And remember, when you're cutting stone, you don't just plunge right in like you're cutting wood. What we're going to be doing is rocking back and forth to make sure that the blade doesn't bind. We're also going to be cutting it at a slight angle to get a natural edge, and I'll talk about that after we're done with the cut. Well, as you can see, I've cut this back at an angle, but look at the edge, it's nice and smooth. Well, a real rock doesn't look that smooth, so here's our technique. Just take your claw hammer and just simply chip away a little bit so we get a rough edge, so it looks natural, just like that, right from the quarry. Well, I got my stone all buttered up and set to install. Now, if your scratch coat dries out a little bit, just take a spray bottle, spray it with a little bit of water. The reason for that is we want to get a little moisture on that dry scratch coat, because if you don't, what could happen is that dry scratch coat could absorb the moisture from the mortar too fast and not give you a good bond.
When applying stones to the wall, you want to wiggle them in with a moderate amount of force to make sure that they stick to the wall, and then hold your hands in place for 10 to 15 seconds to make sure the stone doesn't fall.
After you've got about 5 or 10 stones laid up, we need a grout between the seams. We're going to use a grout bag. It's pretty simple to use. All you need to do is just twist the bag. It's just like putting on caulk. You want to keep it moving and have a nice even bead all the way through the seam. We've got just a couple more stones to put on our fireplace, and we're really heading down the home stretch. Now, if you want more information about this project, just head to our website at DIYnet.com. Now, when we come back, we're going to show you some tips on how to get that finished look for our stones that we want. We'll also put in a mantle and a hearth with some different types of stones, so stay with us.
Get your summer project started at Lowe's with this special credit offer. Pay nothing for 12 months. That's 0 payments and 0 interest for a whole year when you use your Lowe's card on all purchases store-wide of $2.99 or more. Now that's improving home improvement.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
What does my car say about me?
It says I'm not about to get lost in the crowd.
It says I know where to go to get what I need.
It says I'm not really a factory showroom kind of guy.
It says I'm in the zone.
Hey, your car says a lot about you. Get in the zone and make sure people hear it. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Repair jobs are quick and easy with Quikrete Fast Setting Concrete. Just add water and mix. It sets hard in minutes. Quikrete. It's that easy.
Mr. Goodwrench, who is this one and only GM expert? I gotta find this guy. So, Fred, you are Mr. Goodwrench?
That's right.
You say you're Mr. Goodwrench, but that guy says he's Mr. Goodwrench. Well, I'd have a little talk with Chirpy over there, but that's just me. That's how I roll. And you're Mr. Goodwrench.
That's right.
Huh. Will the real Mr. Goodwrench please step forward?
Find Mr. Goodwrench at over 7,000 GM dealerships nationwide.
All right, pal. Give me the bullhorn.
No.
Lowe's celebrates the 4th of July with all American values. Now, get this 10-gallon wet-dry shop vac for only $29.87. But hurry, this offer is only available July 3rd and 4th, and it's only at Lowe's.
Growing up, he heard the
You
stories.
think somebody will ever find Treasure Planet?
It's a legend. Jim Hawkins is gonna live the adventure.
That's Treasure Planet.
Now,
Let's fly!
you can set sail with Jim and his friends.
What a pleasure to meet you, Jimmy. And you are? I want to say Larry.
To a place where dreams come true. Disney's Treasure Planet, rated PG.
And thank you for calling. Hi, I'm Beth with more terrific news from Matrix Direct. Now we offer more choices from more life insurance companies than ever before, with some of the lowest rates anywhere. Call now, and in just 5 minutes, we'll find the right coverage for you. A 40-year-old man can get a $100,000 term policy for less than $15 a month, about 50 cents a day. A 40-year-old woman can get that same $100,000 policy for less than $14 a month, about 45 cents a day. This is insurance you can depend on from top quality companies like these. The call is free, the quote is free, so don't delay. You could save hundreds of dollars a year the fast, easy, no hassle way with Matrix Direct.
Call Matrix Direct at 1-800-747-9554 and get a free, no obligation quote in just 5 minutes. That's 1-800-747-9554. Call now.
Ship Shape Boating will show you the ropes. Sunday at 9 Eastern on DIY. Online at DIYnet.com.
Hi, welcome back to Weekend Handyman. Well, our transformation from plain fireplace to stone masterpiece using these precast or manufactured stones is well underway. It's late afternoon on the second day of our project, and here's what's happened so far. We prepped the surface with a moisture barrier, then laid on metal lath to hold the mortar. Next came a thin scratch coat of mortar over the entire surface. Starting from the corners, we applied the individual stones, making sure each had plenty of fresh mortar to hold it in place. You can already see how nice this fireplace is going to look. When we built our wall, we worked in small sections, like 5 to 10 square feet. If we build the entire wall at once, the mortar might set up between the joints. We want it to set up a little bit, but not all the way, because we have to finish the joints. Here's how we did that. It's best to work on one section of the wall at a time. After the joints have been filled with mortar, wait an hour or two to let the mortar set up just a bit. Then use the 1/2-inch tuck pointer to both pack in and scrape away the excess mortar. The mortar should be dry enough so it just crumbles away. Keep going until you've exposed the edges of the stone. We put masking tape up to protect the adjacent wall. Once the mortar is dry, you can just pull off the tape, revealing a nice clean edge. So what's next? Well, we can't really leave our fireplace looking like this. So what we'll do is install these special precast hearth stones, both on the hearth and the mantle. The color is a perfect match for our fireplace. These stones come 19 by 20 inches, and they're too big for this smaller mantle. So our first job is to cut the stones to the proper size. We want all the mantle stones to be of equal size, so we cut the same amount off each stone. The trim pieces will work in the front. To set the stones on the mantle, we need to lay down what's known as a bed joint. Put strips of mortar about 5/8 of an inch thick along the outer edge, and then along the inside as well. Once the bed is ready, lay the first mantle stone in place. Let the weight of the stone sink into the bed. Eyeball it so it's fairly level, and then wiggle the stone to set it into the mortar. Then use your level to make sure the stone is perfectly straight. On the next piece, leave about a 1/2 inch gap between the two stones. You'll fill this gap in later with grout. After you have the two front corner pieces in place, sight down the edge to make sure they line up.
When laying out our hearthstones, appearance is very important. We want to use the cut edges either towards the wall or in the mortar joint, leaving the natural edges exposed.
Once the mantle stones are in place, we take our grout bag and generously fill the joint with mortar. We'll do the front edges first, and then fill in all around the sides of the stones. Force enough mortar into the joints to make sure there are no air pockets. Well, our mantle stones are in place, and now we're just going to pretty much repeat the process down here at the hearth. We cut the stones to fit the width of the fireplace, put down our bed of mortar, set and level our stones, and fill the joints with mortar. As our last stone goes in, it fits right into the space we created earlier with our brick. Tap the stone with your fist to set it into the mortar. On this job, 3 stones is all it takes to create a nice hearth. Of course, you always want to keep your surfaces clean.
We use a lot of precast veneer stone as accents to our siding jobs. We found that if you accidentally get some mortar on the stone, instead of wiping it off right away and possibly staining your stone, it's a lot easier to let it dry to a thumbprint consistency and brush it off with a whisk broom.
Here's an important thing to remember when we're building a hearth with stones like this. The overhang that we've got is about 1.5 inches. Now, if the overhang was any longer than that, if you stepped on these stones, they could break off. Here's one last trick. Use the tuck pointer to smooth the joints in the mantle and hearth, and then use a whisk broom to wipe away the dried mortar. Overall, this job does take time, but the stones are going to be on there for years, so don't rush it. And get a friend to help if you can. So, is it worth the effort? Well, imagine 2 days ago we had a plain box with a black hole in it, and now we have a stunning, beautiful fireplace. Just take a look at this dramatic transformation. The bold shape of the stones gives the fireplace a strong visual presence. It's now become the focal point that helps define the entire room. Remember, you can get complete information on this project at the DIY website. It's DIYnet.com. When Weekend Handyman continues, we've got today's tool tip that'll really take you by surprise. And even better, it'll save you a lot of time. Stay with us.
Lowe's celebrates the 4th of July with all American values. Save $5 on every gallon of American Tradition paint. Spend $99 on Werner ladders and get a $30 gift card free with mail-in rebate. Only at Lowe's.
If your driveway looks worn, don't replace it. Resurface it. Quikrete Concrete Resurfacer. The easy way to make old concrete look like new.
I take a lot of pride in my home. It's my castle.
Troy-built pressure washers powered by high-performance Briggs & Stratton engines make cleaning up fast and easy. Tackle a variety of cleanup jobs around the house with results you never imagined.
But, you know, most people don't look forward to cleaning up, but it actually feels good to get so much done. Don't tell my wife I said that.
Troy-built pressure washers powered by Briggs & Stratton engines are available at Lowe's.
We're Geldwin, and for more than 40 years, we've been making reliable windows and doors. Minus 20 outside, catching 20 inside. It's good and quiet. April showers, May flowers. Comfort, security, dependability. Geldwin windows and doors. Reliability for real life.
Lowe's celebrates the 4th of July with all American values. Now, get this 10-gallon wet-dry shop vac for only $29.87. But hurry, this offer is only available July 3rd and 4th, and it's only at Lowe's.
Ah, the evolution of tools. Yes, this is the original cordless hammer. But you know, people wanted to be more efficient, so the power nailer was invented. Now this is great. It does have a lot of power, but it's also got this thing. This is the air hose, and unfortunately, every time you're building, it seems like you always need more room. You have to go further. The hose is never long enough, or maybe you don't have electricity to run the air compressor. So what do you do then? Here's the solution. It's a cordless nailer. This is great for raw construction sites, maybe where there isn't electricity. Maybe you're up in the woods framing up a cabin and you don't have electricity. This still has the power of a corded nailer. Here's how it works. There's a couple of different components in here. The first one is this fuel cell. This is loaded with gas. The other component is this cordless battery. It works kind of like your car engine. When I push down on the gun, a little bit of gas from the fuel cell is sent up into a combustion chamber. When I pull the trigger, an electrical charge ignites that gas and sends the nail into the wood. Now, that fan that you hear is discharging any unused gas. And the reason for that is you want to make sure you get the same measured amount for each nail. These nailers come in all different sizes, from the framing size all the way down to this brad nailer. Now, this convenience does come at a bit of a price. The cost of these is anywhere from $300 to $400, and remember, you have to buy your fuel cell, which costs $7, but those are good for about 1,200 nails, so that's pretty good. Now, the nails load up pretty simple. These have little chisel points on them as well, so you don't have to worry about splitting the wood. This particular one shoots sizes from 3/4 of an inch to 2 inches. Well, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed our stone fireplace project, and I hope you're inspired to try it yourself. I'm Paul Ryan, and remember, it's not really work if you're having fun. We'll see you next time on Weekend Handyman.
Welcome to another DIY kit. Everything you need to complete a do-it-yourself project. For detailed lists, instructions, and more, go to DIYnet.com and click on DIY Kits. Today's kit will show you how to protect the inside of your home from heat, fade, and glare caused by the sun. And it's brought to you exclusively by Hilo Window Film. To get started with today's kit, you'll need window film, a spray bottle, a squeegee, a utility knife, a tape measure, and an edging tool. Using the pre-mixed solution, or if one's not available, mix a 1/4 teaspoon of No-Tear baby shampoo with a quart of bottled water in a spray bottle. Then, generously spray each window with the solution and squeegee it clean. Next, unroll the film on a clean, flat surface and cut the film 1 inch larger than the dimension of your window. Using the same solution, wet the window thoroughly once again and gently peel off the protective liner from the back of the film and apply the adhesive side to the wet window. Lay the film on the window from the top down and handle it gently from the corners to avoid wrinkles and creases which cannot be removed. Once the film is positioned properly, squeegee out the water and air bubbles, leaving a 2-inch area unsqueegeed at the top and bottom of the window. Next, use a utility knife and a 1/16 of an inch edging guide to trim around the 4 edges of the film. This gap will allow for expansion and for you to fully squeegee out all the air and water. Applying window film can make your room more comfortable and protect your home furnishings and flooring from harmful UV rays. Log on to DIYnet.com for complete instructions. You'll also find out how you can buy everything you need to complete this project, along with many other creative DIY kits. Today's kit is brought to you by Hilo Window Film.
What is up with Charlie?
Don't know. He keeps staring out the window.
Well, he is going to burn up in this hot sun.
Got any other bright ideas? Gila window film?
Hilo window film. It's a window treatment you put on the glass.
Deflects heat, protects from UV, lowers utility bills?
And reduces glare. Yours. Go to HilaFilms.com/TV to enter our 25th anniversary free power sweepstakes.